Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Odyssey. It's Jason here, back at you with another video on XRP. So I'm just looking at the charts today for XRP and the same story. Essentially we have consolidation above this 0.5 level. We're really just building a nice base here on top of support, and it's quite beautiful to see. We've also got this descending supporting trend line, which is being respected. Again, we printed some large wicks here, which is excellent to see for anyone that's familiar with candlestick patterns. When you see a long wick like this is telling us that is buying pressure, and you can see that it's formed a kind of hammer, which is a bullish hammer, and we formed another one here on the 19th of May as well. This is very bullish. This is above resistance. Yeah, we've broken out. We now confirm this as support, and we are still flirting with this 0.5 level, hopefully confirming that as support as well. We hit our heads on the 618, it's the same story, and we're essentially just ranging now between this, just as we've done before at times before breaking out. I do believe that we're going to be seeing prices beyond $3 relatively soon. I'd like to think by the end of the month, maybe going into June. I am very bullish for XRP. Now, none of this is financial advice. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, come up with your own strategies. I'm just here to provide educational and entertaining video for you guys in Crypto Town. So let's have a look at the RSI, because that's also telling us the same story. We're still in this rising channel. We have very clear touch points to the upside and on this lower side, and we are testing that as support right now. I suspect that we will find support, and this will give us the next leg to the upside, ideally pushing above this 618 level and testing these highs. That's what I'm predicting XRP will be doing in the short term, medium term, and so on. Let's have a look at some smaller time frames, because we were tracking this head and shoulders pattern, and it does really look like a head and shoulders, doesn't it? I mean, it's very clear here that we have a left shoulder, a head, and we're really just fleshing out. We could be fleshing out this right shoulder here. It looks too good to be true in some ways, and when our indicators are painting a different story, where we're expecting this kind of reversal to the upside due to the fact that we have multiple confluences here. And just looking, we have these higher lows that we've been forming back since we printed our low. The same with these higher highs. The thesis hasn't changed. Our support levels have not been violated, and therefore we can expect higher prices. If we look at what we're forming here, it looks like there is a kind of symmetrical triangle. And you can see that there is a breakout imminent on the 4-hour chart with this RSI. This could give us the confluence to a potential move to the upside. Why is that? Because we also have bullish divergence. You can see that we have a lower low in the price action, but a higher low in the RSI. And this is on the 4-hourly. This is bullish divergence. Yeah. And what that signifies is a potential reversal to the upside. We have what could be a head and shoulders or a falling wedge pattern. You can draw these things in multiple different ways. Essentially, they are just support and resistance lines that are converging, and it works as a pressure cooker. This convergence, this price compression, leads to expansion, and that expansion could be to the upside or to the downside. It ultimately depends on the pattern and the market conditions. Some patterns have probabilities that extend to a bullish case, some have bearish case. For example, a falling wedge in a bull market in an uptrend is a bullish case because you're climbing the stairs, whereas a descending triangle would be drawn like this. Just get where you have essentially this flat line here, and then you have price just testing on this trap door before it just caves in to the downside. And they have a statistical chance or likelihood for breaking down about 70% of the time, whereas the bullish case, generally speaking, about 70% of the time. However, it is not clear cut. We have to look at a multitude of different factors and indicators in order to assess where is the confluence, what is the confluence telling us. Are we going to be bullish, are we going to be bearish? And looking at this chart, especially on the 4 hourly here, we can really see the minutiae playing out here. You can see that this just looks like a reversal in motion. We're seeing this happen, and we're seeing higher highs and higher lows, and that isn't violated yet. We're seeing these higher lows and higher highs, and what that's telling me is that this trend that we started back on the 7th of April is not over. This pullback that we've seen has not been a pullback that violates this bullish uptrend. We are very much still in this channel. It's respecting the lines very clearly. Now obviously we have these wicks, and you can draw with the wicks included, or you can draw them without. Let's draw them with, so we can gain a full sense of the picture here. This line in the middle is also proven to be a point of support as well, because when we broke that down, we ultimately came to the downside. We're flirting with this bottom region. It gets a little bit tricky as to how you want to draw it. We've got all these wicks flying about. Either way, a parallel channel, higher lows, higher highs, it doesn't matter. We're in a uptrend as we speak, despite the fact that we're seeing this minor pullback over the past couple of days. I'm still very bullish on XRP. I am expecting prices higher, especially in June and July. I do think that we're expecting this 5th wave on the higher time frames. If we just jump, and I'm flying about all over the place here, I do apologize, but if we're just looking here, this is looking like we are expecting another wave. And why do I say that? Well, because the market moves in waves, and what we saw, where is the market moves in waves. The market moves in waves, and what we have seen is an impulse wave from this low, and you can draw this in different ways. You can draw this as the low and it playing out like this, and we're waiting for our 5th wave here, or alternatively we also have this, and I should really change the colors, and I will, which is also another possibility. Yeah, either way, they both expect a 5th wave, and you can see with the RSI here, and this is a weekly chart, we are looking very bullish here. We have higher lows on our RSI as well. You can see that very clearly, and that's reflected as well in the price action. So we are clearly in an uptrend from this low. So realistically, I might actually have a favorable preference for this one. I may actually have a preference for this particular move just because of how it's looking in the charts. So before we wrap up, let's have a look at our MACD. And obviously we're on the weekly here, and this is really flatlining, and momentum is waning still to the downside. So the bearish pressure is losing the strength, and that's reflected in the price action, the fact that we've seen a reversal on the lower time frames already play out. Now the lower time frames are really just going to be feeding into the higher time frames, and I do suspect that on this MACD we will see a MACD cross to the upside, and when that does happen, you can expect prices to surge upwards. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, smash that like button, share with your friends, family, and don't forget to subscribe too. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.